was a way to show respect to the audience and respect your own business. It was a way to protect it.
I am Mr. Richie Moon, and I'm Kayfabe Avenue, and I'm Kayfabe Focus.
It's Kayfabe Avenue.
Ladies and gentlemen, heels and faces, casual wrestling fans, and all you smart marks, I am Mr. Richie Moon.
And I'm Kayfabe AJ.
And I'm Kayfabe Focus.
And this is Kayfabe Avenue, and this is NXT 30 Review.
NXT XXX.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about Vin Diesel.
So, I mean, NXT has been kind of lackluster for me.
Damn.
I'm not gonna even lie.
Damn.
There's a couple.
Whoa.
Negativity.
What?
We are.
I can't be honest.
NXT 30 like
yeah,
that.
we are.
No.
And this is why. The pre-show has Breezango versus Birch and Lorcan versus Legado del Fantasma. Now,
no, it was Raul Mendoza
and they're from.
And the other one.
And they're from
I didn't see
the Legado.
I didn't see the
But no, but it wasn't El Hijo de
I didn't say it was. I said it's Legado del Fantasma, the League of Phantasm.
Yeah,
that's what it means. That is their name. It's the Legado del Fantasma.
El Hijo,
no, that means the League of the Phantom, pretty much. That's what they call them, the League of the Phantom. So, but in Spanish, Legado del Fantasma. So we have. This is why I feel like it's kind of lackluster because Breezango is just coming back. They're just, gelling. They've had maybe 3-4 matches on NXT recently, and I feel like the booking for certain matches were either lackluster or it was like for what? This was one of those. Now I'm glad it was on the pre-show because I didn't feel like they built this up enough. God honest truth, they didn't.
But it was for the #1 contendership for the NXT Tag Team Champion,
which is a good future booking situation.
I say this should have been a fatal 4-way. They should have had the Canada Bucks in there as well, and they should have won the Canada Bucks.
The fake Bucks that's on NXT now. They look just like the Bucks, but just like they look like if they took more age from the Rockers, from the Rock and Roll Express, and then try to get the young gear of the Young Bucks.
Okay.
Well, because
they look horrible, by the way.
The other day, Breezango beat the Canada Bucks on NXT.
Well, let's start the show off.
Yeah, they're the Canadian Bucks.
Yeah, let's start the show off.
So Breezango ends up winning, and it's like, why?
Because this dirty Dango.
We've had the league of.
You saw him do it, right? He was like, yeah.
I didn't see it for sure, but
we've had the Legado del Fantasma. They've been built pretty strongly. Their leader is the Cruiserweight Champion. This is the opportunity to double down on that stable.
What is the Trap House Squad? Oh yeah, they should have definitely won that. Oh yeah, because their leader is like
their leaders.
Yeah, he's a drug lord.
Oh my god!
And
oh my god! You see, and I'm the one that throws negativity.
No, that's not negative. Look at it. What is his name? What's his name? What's the Cruiserweight Champion's name? It's like
the Phantasma.
No, it's like Escobar Santana. It's like they basically took two drug dealers' names and mixed it together, and that's his name. And they move like cartels. That's the underlining thing of their gimmick. I thought everybody knew that.
Except you got a Filipino in there.
Well, they're still drug dealers.
All right. Well, I personally didn't think Breezango should have won this. I think it should have went to the League of the Phantom.
They should have
because they've been built up pretty strongly, especially with their work against Drake Maverick and them. I mean, Breezango, they always get a good start. Then somebody gets injured or something happens that pulls them out of the game. Hopefully, if they're gonna pull the trigger on them, fuck it. Hopefully, it's a good run at least. So NXT Takeover finally starts after this pre-show match. We have the opener being Finn Balor versus Timothy Thatcher. Now, what did you guys think about this matchup right here?
I think it showed that the real Rocky Road showed up.
It was really good because Timothy Thatcher is a great in-ring technical mat wrestler, and Finn Balor hung in there with Matt move for move. It was really, based around ligaments. Finn Balor's knee was getting injured. He was nursing a knee for a couple of weeks, and he went for the coup de grace, banged his knee up, and it was just a really good mat. It was a really good mat-based wrestling match. I'm just telling the story through that, So,
now Finn Balor comes out on the top of this.
Yeah, Timothy Thatcher looked strong in defeat, though. He took
But I think it's time for Timothy Thatcher to actually start getting some more wins. Like, his work recently has been really good, and I think Finn Balor could have took this loss.
He could have, but I think Finn Balor was the right person.
I mean, unless Finn Balor springboards into like either the next contender for the NXT title or the next contender against the North American champion. So
because there was so much controversy in how he lost his match, with all the interferences and people like that. So I think that's why they're building this.
So hopefully Finn Balor is eventually going down for a title. Having this win, like you said, they kind of overlooked the fact that he's been winning. He's actually only lost like twice on NXT period.
Yeah.
So, Finn Balor should definitely be in a big position. Although I feel like Timothy Thatcher,
he has time.
He has more time, but I feel like he could have benefited way more with this win.
He totally could.
But speaking of the North American Championship, the next match is the ladder match for the NXT North American Championship. Now, the storyline going into this match was, what's his name? Keith Lee was the double champion. He won both titles, and 2 weeks later, he ended up relinquishing the belt because he didn't want to feel like he was holding people back and not giving them the opportunity to fight for a title, as opposed to him clogging both divisions and maybe one person at a time going after his belts.
Yeah.
So over the course of these weeks, the gimmick behind the entire takeover is this is the 30th takeover event. So the weeks leading into this had a series of triple threat matches with every winner picking, ended up with a slot for this ladder match. Eventually, Johnny Gargano winning a second opportunity match to get back into this ladder match. Velveteen Dream returning out of left field and securing a spot. We've had Cameron Grimes kind of in the picture. Bronson Reed looked very strong leading into this. And in this match, very strong. And Damian Priest, he's been Boricua Taker. He's been built up. He's been built up for a while, and I feel like all he's been doing is cutting Archer of Infamy style promos where
my name will live forever. I am Damian Priest
because he speaks like that. But he hasn't really been doing much. This was something for him to sink his teeth into. Indeed. He ends up pulling out the victory and being the first Puerto Rican NXT champion. The first Puerto Rican champion in WWE in a long time. Long time. We're talking about Carlito as far as singles division. And we're talking about his brother, Epico Primo, and their cousin Epico with the tag titles. The last time some Puerto Ricans held any gold in WWE. So do the math. It's been a long time. It was a good night for Puerto Ricans tonight. On the AEW side, we had Ivelisse and Diamante winning their tag team tournament. So congratulations for the AEW side. But good night in Hispanic wrestling history tonight.
There's one more that we got to announce, but let's later on.
Later on. All right. Well, you'll get back to that. So Damian Priest with the win. What do you think about the match? What do you think about Damian Priest being the champion?
I think this probably match of the night.
I think it was match of the night too.
There was so many good spots. It's like, how can you pick just one? I like the finish too as well, where they were fighting for the thing, and it seems like
Johnny Gargano.
Yeah. And, he just hit him with the belt, and then he took it. It was great.
I mean, it was good to see Boricua Taker to get the win. I just wish I'm always going to crown him for his voice, but everything else about Damian Priest, I like his gimmick. I like everything. I like the fact that he celebrated. He got into the hot tub with leather pants on.
Straight in the hot tub.
One of the
Same
girls.
thing I would have done.
One of the girls in the hot tub is Joey Janela's girlfriend.
Nice.
Oh, that's funny. Nice. That's funny.
Just want to put that out there.
I want to call out a spot that I liked in the match, even though they kind of messed it up a little bit, but I saw what they were going for, and it was kind of like really different. So they had Velveteen Dream on the turnbuckle. Then they had a ladder sandwiching him.
Oh, yeah.
They had another person in between that ladder with another ladder stacked up. Damian Priest tried to put a ladder sideways to like jump up and sit on it.
Yeah.
So pretty much 3 people crushed. Then another ladder smashing Damian Priest. Every time they rock that ladder, it'll knock everybody in between. And then Velveteen Dream just getting his head rocked every time. 4 people getting attacked with a ladder at the same time. A spot that's never really been done.
And all of a sudden, Bronson Reed just wants to just go and just run at everybody.
Yeah, Bronson Reed,
big
guy.
The spot they did out of that, it was a superplex, power bomb, German suplex devastator because he had one guy on the shoulders doing the German, they were doing the superplex from it. So
it was a great match. Something you should definitely go out your way to see as far as Takeover 30 goes. My favorite match of the night. Moving on, we have Adam Cole versus Pat McAfee. And God honest truth, I knew going in, Pat has actually been training behind the scenes for quite some time. He's been a guest commentator for WWE in these pre-shows leading up to the specific pay-per-views. So it's been building up for a while. I think the story was kind of pulled off really well. When they originally did the angle for this, it was Adam Cole doing Pat McAfee's podcast radio show, and there was some tension. McAfee throwing shots at Adam Cole, not taking him serious, and they had already built upon a previous incident backstage, so that tension spilled over into the podcast. They used that as the catalyst for the angle, and we have Pat McAfee pretty much challenging Adam Cole. During the whole thing, even the entrance, everything, he tried to mock the Undisputed Era, coming out with his entourage of people with Cole Suck shirts. And, everything was a joke. But once they got in the ring, the joke was over. And I want to say hats off to Pat McAfee. Like, he held his own for the most part. Honestly, he comes off like most celebrities do, a little awkward in the ring. But for some guy, this is his first match ever. Kudos to that man. He took superplexes. He took a Canadian, Panama Sunrise, which is the Canadian destroyer from the turnbuckle.
He did a backflip off of the top turnbuckle, and then leapfrogs onto the top turnbuckle.
Yep.
And then gives
did a senton bomb from the outside, from the turnbuckle to the outside onto the Undisputed Era and his entourage. It was a lot of good spots. It was impressive. I feel like it was impressive.
Pat McAfee was good. He put on a good match. He trained. He's an athlete. He's been training.
I think most important, they let Adam Cole come out on top. They showed that, because I think if you would have let Pat McAfee win, it kind of devalues wrestling, kind of devalues the sentiment of take me serious. I'm a professional athlete. I'm a professional wrestler. I've been the champion. So I don't think this is over, honestly. I think there's more legs on this story. I don't know if that's the best interest for the viewers, because Pat McAfee, although you're decent and you're awkward.
But Pat McAfee can cut a good promo. He put on a good match. I don't think you really need to really go any further with this. The right person won. It was a good match. It was good stuff. They crescendo at its right point. So I don't think they really need to go any further.
So Adam Cole with the win. Like I said, decent match. That's probably a match you want to actually go and see. It was fun. It was fun and a good showing for Pat McAfee. Any Pat McAfee fans out there.
Undisputed Era faces this time.
Yeah, they need something new for sure.
They got to turn faces.
So the next match was the NXT Women's Championship match with Io Shirai versus Dakota Kai. And I want to say this match was good. It was a lot of back and forth, but
there was a lot of kicks.
I wasn't invested.
What?
I was not invested. Like, I feel like although Dakota Kai did technically go through the ranks and earn her number one contendership, I believe it was a fatal 4-way elimination match she won in. Mm-hmm. I still don't feel like Dakota Kai had, like, there wasn't any real substantial rivalry between her and Io. Like, it felt like a regular exhibition match to me. It didn't feel like there was anything really important on the line. And not at once did I feel like Io Shirai was in danger of losing the title.
No, this is just a good title defense for Io Shirai. That's what this was, and it was a good showing for Dakota Kai. Yeah, I never thought for one second that Dakota Kai was going to win. I just thought this was a good title match.
I don't know. I don't think that she portrays herself as a believable heel.
I think she's a slimy heel. She's a cowardly heel.
Yeah, I agree with that. So after the match, we have Gonzalez comes out and attacks Io Shirai, which won the match, retaining her belt. We end up having Rhea Ripley coming out and stopping Gonzalez's attack.
Wait, did she do her two foot stomps in the beginning?
Oh yeah, I mean she did. She took 10 minutes to come out.
I didn't see that.
She was actually supposed to come out while the match was still going on, but you know Rhea Ripley got to do her whole entrance. She got to do the stomp, so she was actually late. Sure. But to the viewers, it looked like it was on time because Triple H told her, you know, start early, do your entrance backstage, and then you can lead it to. So by the time you do your stomp, it's actually time for you to come out.
God.
So yeah, she'll never live that down when it comes to Kayfabe Avenue. But yeah, we have that rivalry brewing between Rhea Ripley and Gonzalez. It's iffy. To me, I really don't care about it. What I do care about is the announcement of the return of NXT UK. A lot of guys have been stranded with no work. A lot of guys have been in limbo since COVID-19 shut Europe down, and the access from America to Europe has been, you know, stagnant. So hopefully that means that the avenues of travel have kind of opened up. We could get more shows across the board. We could get the people that we've been missing on the shows, people like Pete Dunne, who have missed a lot, who kind of got stopped in his storyline with Matt Riddle, who's now on SmackDown.
He was an NXT Tag Team Champion. He got stripped from that. Now his tag team partner is up on freaking SmackDown on the main roster. Like, come on.
And he's probably gonna have to come back to NXT and re-earn, re-earn his spot.
But who knows? They might shoot him up straight up to the main roster. Who knows? They might.
I mean, that wouldn't necessarily even be a bad look when it comes to Pete Dunne, because Pete Dunne is the longest reigning NXT UK champion.
Yeah, I don't think he needs.
I think the only thing that he's missing is an actual NXT championship.
Yeah,
I believe he had the North. Well, did he have the North American title? I know he fought for it, but I'm not sure if he won it.
I don't feel like Pete Dunne needs to win the NXT championship because he's the longest reigning NXT UK. I feel like he should go to the main roster, not up. He should move over to the main roster.
Yeah, I think he should move over to either Raw or SmackDown.
Cruiserweight championship.
I think that's the no below too. The disrespect to the cruiserweight.
Yeah, that is definitely below.
Elevate the cruiserweight championship.
No,
you got some. You can do that.
Elevate.
Yeah, let's move on to a title that does not need elevation, to a division that doesn't need elevation, which is the NXT Heavyweight division. Mm-hmm. We have Keith Lee versus Karrion Kross, and Karrion Kross, the look, the manager in Scarlet, the music with the end is here. Like, he has the total package. I believe that he would one day be NXT champion. Did I believe it would be tonight? No, I did not. I was actually shocked that they made Keith Lee a transitional champ. And although I understand why they did it, because, who knows? Maybe Keith Lee is going to move up soon. He was big last year in Survivor Series. Maybe it's time to call Keith Lee up to Raw SmackDown.
Maybe. That's what I'm hoping, because it was a bit, I didn't think that Keith Lee would be a transitional champion. When beating Adam Cole, the longest reigning NXT champion of all time, becoming the second black champion, NXT champion, and double champion like that, you know what I'm saying? They built him up. So maybe he's just getting called over to the main roster. But, I knew there was, like you said, I knew they were going to hotshot Karrion Kross, but I didn't think they were going to. This guy's been in NXT for I think this might be the fastest rise. He's been in NXT.
Yeah, I mean, he came in after COVID, whiplash with it.
He came in after COVID, right?
Yeah.
He came in after COVID, and I think this might be the fastest rise of any NXT superstar that we've ever seen go from debuting to being champion, and you believe him immediately. You believe him immediately. It's just
the guy was lifting Keith Lee.
Matter of fact, I would say Kevin Owens.
Faster than Karrion Kross?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin Owens kind of shot straight to that title.
As soon as Kevin Owens debuted, he power bombed Sami Zayn when he won the championship.
Yeah.
And afterwards, he had the match for it, which he won.
Yeah, so him and Kevin Owens probably got competition with each other on fastest rise to the NXT Championship. Yeah. But I gotta say, it looks good on the kid. It looks good on him. I feel like he got the total package. This was actually a great match. One thing I'm like, why the hell did they break the COVID barriers between the fans and them? I mean, fiberglass is hard to damage, period. But isn't that like kind of productive to the COVID measures?
I think that was by accident though.
Probably. I hope it was, because it's kind of stupid. You got people all over your back criticizing how you handle COVID-19.
Yeah,
in comparison to like an AEW who's been on top of it. Nobody's really caught COVID in AEW or passed it on to anyone else. So
I don't know. Renee Young might be joining AEW. So
I mean, but that's a mad argument, because like you're wrestling, period. So like, if people are really worried that much about COVID, you're wrestling.
So with that ending Takeover 30, what do you think about the show overall?
I think it was great having Karrion Kross becoming the NXT champion. Another win for Puerto Ricans that night, since Karrion Kross is Puerto Rican.
Oh, is he?
Yes, he is.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
He is the first.
Oh, it's a great night for Hispanics.
Champion as well.
I didn't know that. Well, kudos to him. That made us proud. I mean, he gave me whiplash. Now you gave me another one. Good. That's good for the culture. I definitely appreciate that. Damn, I didn't know that. That's what's up. Overall, I think NXT kind of had it rough as far as keeping my attention or just being the bigger draw as far as Saturday went. Dynamite was at 6:00, so it had the hour lead up before Takeover even started. So anybody who was already watching AEW maybe didn't switch the channel or turn on the network for Takeover. I actually was watching both at the same time, and I feel like, yeah, this was a big show for Takeover. I mean, for NXT being a Takeover, but it didn't. This was the first Takeover that I can actually say you could probably miss outside of the title exchanges. I feel like this was a missable Takeover. There was no big debuts. There was no big callbacks to the old NXT outside of Corey Graves commentating, outside of a little video package. But this being the big 30, you would think that they will make this a historic, a memorable situation. I feel like AEW kind of took the steam out of them before they could even start. Because if you were doing what I was doing and you was dual casting, you were heavily invested in AEW and everything. It was action-packed start to finish. Character development, like hell. Takeovers are usually about the matches, about the ending of storylines, or the formation of new storylines. I feel like they didn't do that much. I feel like the only thing we know for sure is we have a new number one contender for the tag titles, and we have new champions, but there's no big emerging star outside of the stamp for Karrion Kross. But there's no real big emerging stars. There's no debuts. This didn't feel like a takeover to me.
Yeah,
I would say technically Thatcher came as a little bit of an emerging star, and Damian Priest too.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a bad takeover.
I think Thatcher's been proving that over the course of a couple of months, though. But I don't feel like this takeover did anything specifically for anyone.
He just faced a wrestler that just came from a main roster, had a great match, didn't have any type of complaints. He just faced a main roster guy and looked strong. Like he didn't do.
Yeah, he looked strong in defeat. This is an okay takeover, but that's the problem. It's takeover. Takeover is supposed to be massive. Takeover is supposed to be like, oh my gosh, did you see Takeover last night?
Exactly.
Nobody's coming out of this like, oh my god, it was a good show. But honestly, I was more invested with AEW. And I hate to say that because NXT 30, but it didn't feel like
this is the first. This is God on the truth. In 30 takeovers, this is the first takeover I felt was lackluster. That I feel like there was good matches on paper. It was a great card on paper, but in actually captivating us and keeping us wanting, at the edge of our seat. I never felt like I was on the edge of my seat. The ladder match was probably the only time I was like, like got excited. But other than that, it was like, oh, this is happening. I'm sorry, and I hate to admit this, but when the Io Shirai match was happening, I asked Focus, I'm like, do we care about this match? Oh, we care?
Yeah.
Okay. And I try to watch, and it's like, do we care? And Focus we don't care about this match.
I can't say that on my end. I care, but it's just if I was watching it during the same time, I would have not cut off AEW to start watching it.
Oh no. I mean, I went in. I thought they were actually going head to head, 8 p.m. And a week prior, you like, oh, which one you gonna watch? Like, well, I'm watching AEW first, and that would have not been the bad decision. I don't want to make this an AEW centric episode. This is about Takeover 30, but I feel like NXT, ever since they went live, they are too pressured to keep up the momentum. The stars are obviously not being rotated the way they used to. They're not getting the same amount of rest, vacation days, or whatever the case may be, or just R&R days. And it shows. It shows, especially during COVID, where the roster's stretched thin and there's not a lot of options. So the options that you do have, we have to be interested. Scandals aside with Velveteen and stuff like that, people have started their little rise and things have held them back. Velveteen being that scandal, that was a big part of the show. Johnny Gargano, how many times can we see a Johnny Gargano storyline with the Ciampa? And for that matter, where's Ciampa been? There's
he's injured.
He got written off TV. Yeah,
he's injured again. Damn.
No, he got not real injured. They wrote him off TV.
Or maybe he's in retribution.
Oh, well, I don't know.
Carrying crosswasher.
But I feel like NXT needs to get back that it factor, like that. You have to watch us, like not that you can watch us. We're an option. No, we're the option. We're the show.
They have lost their cool since AEW started because it seems like they're worried about AEW. They may not say it. They may not ever allude to them. But ever since AEW has come on, ever since Wednesday Night Dynamite has come on, NXT has lost that cool, that it, whatever that it factor that has. That, like you said, that we have to watch NXT. They lost it ever since Dynamite.
I think COVID also exposed them because now that Raw and SmackDown kind of got brought down to the NXT level with the performance centers, everything looks the same across the product. So there's nothing really special anymore about them.
Because their crowd, it was their crowd. Their crowd is a backbone. NXT's crowd is like another superstar, and they need that superstar.
I mean, they're in Florida. Florida's opening up a lot of places.
Yeah.
Daily's places allowing AEW to fill up to 10-15% capacity. So we're going to slowly see that trickle back in. NXT feels like it's sorely missing their audience. They need that tomorrow. Overall, match quality wise, I would never knock the match quality wise of NXT. Match quality wise, top to bottom, it was really good. I just need to be invested in these characters, and I feel like outside of Keith Lee, outside of Karrion Kross, and as much as I'm happy for Boricua Taker, but character wise, he's not doing it for me.
What do you mean? He's not interested in Boricua Taker?
No, I'm not. So I'm interested in Oni Larkin and the Timothy Thatchers and who's the other guy they put this guy for?
Not enough character development. I give NXT 33 out of 5. That's not a bad thing. It should be 5 out of 5, but it's not.
Yeah, I mean, I will probably think the same. I feel like they need that fire back, but we can do this all day, and I don't want to make this a long-winded story about how NXT can do better. Takeover was decent for the most part. The matches were great. Me personally, they just need that fire back. Congratulations to Karrion Kross and Boricua Taker. Rich, where can they find you?
You can find me at The Richie Moon Show on YouTube, on all podcasts, and on the YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe. You can find me at Kayfabe Avenue on Instagram, on Facebook. On Facebook, come join the chat room. You know what I'm saying? Come debate with us, drop some pictures, all that shenanigans. And we are on podcast, Kayfabe Avenue, on all major platforms. And we are on the Twitter.
The Twitter. Focus, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram, and username is Take and Try Another.
and Archer/ArcherofInfamy.com. You can find me at Kayfabe_AJ on Instagram.
Fuck you, AJ. You've been making fun of my height for the whole night. This is Adam Cole and Monique Taker.
You can find me at Kayfabe_AJ on Instagram. Like Rich said, follow our Facebook group. Like, share, subscribe our YouTube channel. Find us on the Twitter.
With that being said,
But that has been Rich, Mr. Richie Moons. That's been Kayfabe Focus, and I've been Kayfabe AJ. Kenny, take us home.
Why do you always have to see us home, bro?
Always.
Goodbye. And good night. Bang!